Technology has transformed everything we do. How we connect, how we talk, even how we argue. Is it helping connections or is it taking away?
For that, I think it's good, obviously.
Is it?
Is it? How is it not? How do you talk to your mother every day?
Yeah, but I find it so. Sometimes I have to ignore my phone for a couple days because I feel like.
I don't
I don't know.
understand that. I know that, okay, I have some friends that need to like catch up on messages or message you like 2 months later. Maybe it's me. I don't find technology taxing. If I can't,
Mm.
of course, I'm not responding immediately because nobody has the time for that. But it don't take me longer than 2 days to respond to somebody. Even 2 days is a stretch. If I see a message in the morning and I'm working all day and I get home late, and then, but by the time I wake up the next morning, that message will be responded to. And I don't feel like it's that
Mm.
much energy or effort. I don't know. I'm not the person that asked me to have a whole in depth
It's
conversation.
not about that. Adopting technology was easier for some than others. You're more extroverted than I am. Who's to say that I'm not equally introverted online as I am offline? In the sense that my social battery has a lot less capacity.
Mm,
So when I see like seeing notifications, y'all know me. I can't have notifications on my phone. Like that stresses me out. Like that is already stress inducing. So I've had to remove like notifications coming up, even coming up on my phone. Like seeing that little red dot with a number.
that's
No.
crazy to me. Clearly, you're right about the adaptation because I don't understand that at all. Like, I can respond to it and respond to it. Like, I have, especially for Insta, like sending reels and stuff is a very like a millennial thing to do. You could have 8 reels in there. If I respond to one and then I get back to the other seven, like 2 days later, it's fine. Like, I feel like the good thing about technology and the good thing about messaging and bridging that distance is that now I've been able to upkeep a lot of friendships, although
Mm.
I'm like, we've moved away from home, or even the friendships here, because you don't see people every day. But it's not asking you to be immediate with these friendships and be like, is it doesn't take, for me, I like it because it's like you can take your time. Like, I don't need to respond to you immediately. I don't need, if you need me immediately, call me or message me and be like, hey, like, can I call? And then I'll pick up. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it gives you a space to like have a relationship on your own terms, so to speak.
You said replay in your own time, but then you also said contradictory. Minimum 2 days.
Which is it?
That's because that's all I do. Like, for me, because if for me, my issue with people who like is 2 months, 3 months, like I message you for Christmas and you even respond to me till February. We can't have a proper. I will talk to you, but we can't have a proper relationship because I can't. You're not there when I can't message you. Oh my god, this happened, and you respond like like
Hmm.
within a timely manner,
I find it
basically.
difficult. I know my friends would attest to this in the sense that I've made some really good connections through my work. And obviously, all of us are from different countries, different time zones, different everything. And I find it so hard to. I'm not a messenger. I'm really not. I can't explain it. I find it hard to even message people for happy birthday. I can't do it. I can't explain it. I can't do it.
And I don't get it. All right.
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Maybe some people are more adjusted to it than others. So for me, like even the friends we went to visit the other day, like we don't talk regularly online,
Mm-hmm.
but when we were there in space in person together, like
And that's
we can't
fine.
like the conversations were going.
Right. That is absolutely fine.
I'm not one to reach out. I'm that's something I want to work on, but while it is convenient for bridging the gap, I feel for some people, and I can speak for myself, and I know I don't think I'm unique or that unique to say that sometimes technology is intimidating the right word? I don't know. But there's a level
Overwhelming,
of
maybe.
stress. Yeah, there's a level of stress that comes with using technology as the only method of connection.
But okay, if it's the only method of connection, do you let that relationship die? So like one of my besties is South African and lives in the United States of America. We were au pairs together in Paris in 2019. We got really, really close, and we've been able to upkeep that relationship like for 5 years plus because of technology. So we don't message every day. And I could she's the kind of person I'll be like, hey, like something happened this week. When are you free this week? Can I call you? And like we missed our Sunday call, so like, oh shoot, I forgot too. So we end up calling each other like a week and a half after that conversation. But then we will have like a video call. I would be on a video call for like 2 3 hours and catch up on everything. And then that will happen again every 2 3 months. You don't need to be there constantly, but we've been able to upkeep and hold this friendship and be as close as we are because of technology. And I have a lot of friendships like that.
I guess I think for me, I'm like, how do I communicate that to people? So like, for example, one of my good friends, she's in the US as well. Like she would, before she would call me, she would video call me, we'd have one of those like 2 hour conversations. But I wonder if, because I'm not reaching out regularly, if she's taking that as a hint that I'm not interested in fostering
Well,
this relationship.
Yeah, because if I were her, I would, because like now this, it has to be some sort of reciprocation, because it can't be always me reaching out. Because if I realize I'm the one always reaching out, at some point I will stop. Because
Even
I will
if the
feel,
so I'm saying, so if I communicated that technology is overwhelming for me, and that I do want to maintain this relationship, could you be the one to initiate?
if you actually told her that.
Yeah.
Oh well, then yeah, of course I would meet you where you're at with that. Like if you know, if you say, oh, like, hey, like, listen, I love you just as much. It's just that I'm not that good at reaching out. I would still reach out to you as normal.
Okay.
I'd say.
Mentally noted. I think I'll try that. It is
Okay.
good for bridging the gap, but I guess for me, as I'm now learning, I need to find ways for my brain to use it.
Find the balance. Like nobody's asking you to text 24/7, because I don't think that's sustainable for anyone on earth. It's too much. But like we're like reels and stuff. Like okay, we live in the same house and we're sisters, but we just communicate on Insta with reels and
Yeah.
reels, and that in itself is a relationship. That's a form of communication.
And if you don't send me reels that I feel like connect with me regularly, I'm like, why are you doing? Like, are we friends?
You say, do I even know you?
Do you know me? Like, why are we here?
Yeah, but I mean, it could be a hit or miss with that. But like the fact of like that is still a form of communication, and it doesn't take much. It's just like, okay, you might send me 7-10 reels. I might not look at all of them, but I can get to them.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I
the
can
thing.
get to
I'm
them.
the type of person, I will respond individually to each one.
She would.
That's my thing.
I would try to, but like if I'm not any headspace, I'm not any headspace. But at least I will respond
That's
to
the
someone
thing.
first.
So like my things pile up. So I don't get Instagram notifications on my phone or any of my technology actually. So when I eventually have that week or 2 passes and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for Instagram again. And I open it and I can go through each of the conversations, go through all, like I have a friend that sends 14 reels minimum like on TikTok and then another 5 on Instagram. And I would go through and I would individually respond.
But isn't that more taxing than if you opened your Insta maybe every 1 or 2 days and just see what was going on?
I don't know. I guess I'm one of those people who uses social media to disconnect or that's my me time. So for me, I've perfectly curated both of my TikTok and Instagram feed. So like my Instagram feed is a lot of Christian stuff because I'm trying to like build my relationship and see where I am at with God, you know? I'm at that age. Is that existential crisis? I don't know. But I'm at that age, that stage in my life. So I've curated it to be that and puppies and food. That's what it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm like, when you send me all these things that may not be directly related to that or whatever the case is, and I click on it and then I start scrolling from there, then my whole feed is gonna be messed up. So I'm gonna just respond every 2 weeks or so. I don't
know. Like I feel maybe people like you putting a lot of stock in what you in your spaces, which is fine. Like it's your space, but like it's a feed, is a TikTok feed. If it's a reel you don't like, you say not interested, and your algorithm in tutus will adapt to suit. So it's maybe you're putting too much stock on what it can do for you. I don't know. I don't know, because again, we're on opposite sides.
I'm treating my feed too highly.
Yeah, like you're making it like if it's your personal bedroom space, it's like maybe it's a place to decompress. Agreed. But for me, for example, I sometimes I really learn Spanish because one of my friends is Spanish. She just sent me Spanish rules, and I'm like, babes, I don't speak Spanish. But she was like, but you can get it from context, right? So like, you know, so and for me that's funny. It's fine. It's okay. But when I get tired of scrolling and like thinking, then I just stop. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't hold as much weight for me as it does for you. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what makes the difference, but is a lot more serious for me. So I do need to build up the social battery. Like, no, I've had to create a whole separate social battery. So I have like the social battery for like in-person situations. And now I have to have one for technology situations. And I'm still working on that.
I never realized you were so introverted. Oof. What happened? What happened to you as a child?
I don't know.
I mean, obviously, there's nothing wrong with being introverted, but I guess for me, I'm not super extroverted either. I'm in between.
Yes, you are.
Compared to you, but I'm not super extroverted.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What I mean?
I'm
You're
not-
the type of person that will come home, get dressed, and go back outside and see people. Never.
It's normal. I think that's a normal
Never.
thing to do. All right, fine. I'm a little extroverted, according to my sister.
She's extroverted.
in
Point blank.
comparison.
Period.
Anyways, the point is I've been able to maintain a lot of relationships over social media. And it's not like I'm on my phone all the time and stuff, but even with my current boyfriend, we live in different countries. So the reason we were able to get so close is because we have social
And that's
media.
another thing. Like, even, okay, so this is something that I had to discuss with my husband, because when we were working, we would take 3 months vacations, and we would take them in different countries. So he'd be in Barbados, I'd be here in London. And I had to learn how to communicate online, in the sense that, well, and for him too, because I would text. Like, if we had an argument, I prefer to text. I like to have my thoughts written out. I like to reread it. I'm that sort of person. And he wants to voice note, or he prefers me to voice note, because he doesn't like reading. So now we're at this crossroads, and I think that's something specific to technology, where we literally have to rewire how we connect. We have to rewire how we communicate,
That's
like,
true.
completely.
No, that's yeah, I understood, because like, again, in my relationship with my boyfriend, I am the more extroverted one, and he's more introverted. But he actually suggested recently, because we text a lot, because again, I was in Barbados for some, he's in Europe, so we're different time zones, and then I was here, and it's only a 1 hour difference, but it's still different. So we text a lot. He at work, I'm at work, whatever the case is. And then recently he was like, hey, like, I don't mind if we started calling more often. And I was like, okay. And actually, I don't mind calls, because I
What
guess
was
I
that
don't know.
face?
That face is like, I'm not into calls, but I'll do it. And like, again, you have to meet somebody when there's a deeper relationship, like you and your husband and my boyfriend. When there's a deeper relationship, you kind of have to meet people halfway. And now I don't mind calls at all. Like, it's not like he wants me on the phone for every day for 3 hours a day every day. But like, like every once in a while, hey, like, you're free right now? Yeah, let's have a call. Like,
No, I'm the type of person, right, that I would text my husband, like, if we're not in the same place. And if he doesn't answer, I will call, and as soon as I hear him like, pick up, I will hang up the phone, because I want him to read my message.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
He would be like, why can't you just tell me? You already just read my
called.
message.
That would annoy me. I'm with him on that. Like, bro, you called me, so I have
I
the conversation.
understand, but again, what I'm saying is technology has shifted how we,
That is very true.
and people like me, for whatever reason, some people might find it harder to create those new processes.
You just because you have to adapt to something doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Like, life is about adapting and progressing. So, of course, yes, technology has its downsides, but just because you have to adapt to something new and different does not necessarily make it bad.
I'm trying to say it was bad. I'm just saying it can create friction in a situation where somebody like me, who's still creating my new process, might text, and my husband wants me to finish what I'm saying on the call instead of hanging up so he reads my message.
Yeah, that's wild. For me, that's wild. If you already
So yeah, I it's really nice for like long distance, because we live in a world now where most of the people you care for are not in the same country.
It's true. And even when they are,
it's very difficult. So like,
see
even
them.
for me, when we were in Barbados for like a month and a half, almost 2 months, I saw my best friend one time, and it wasn't for lack of trying. Like, like,
because life be lifing. Like, people are busy. You have work. You have this thing going. This
yeah,
thing
and
happening.
imagine, like, even for me, trying to work in gym, cooking, eating,
seeing family,
doing work, like,
yeah, everything.
even if I just focused on myself, that is a whole schedule in itself. That is an entire schedule.
And then obviously you need that space where you need some me time, where you just need to decompress and like have those moments where you're just, by yourself and like doing your own thing. But then you have to meet friends, you have to do this. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot. So it's really hard to see people. And I feel like technology is good for that, because now I can meet you where we're both at. We don't have to see each other every day, but we can upkeep this relationship and upkeep this friendship on both of our own terms,
I have a bit of a query. Do you think if we didn't have technology that people would make more effort to see each other?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess yes, because if you take that out of it, then you have to make effort in another way. It doesn't mean that you still will see each other every day.
Of course not.
But I guess it might be more than you see each other now, but I don't think it would be a significant amount, because those things in life are still happening. You're still working, you're still going to gym, you're still doing a lot with your own self. So yes, it might increase, but I don't think it will be like a drastic amount, if that makes sense.
No, it can't replace what technology is doing. But what I'm saying is, for example, would our friends visit us?
Mm. Yeah, I guess that's what people used to do back in the day.
I want more of that.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's nice for us to visit them, but I'd like people visit me too. Come on, I'm here.
Fair enough. Yeah, as I said, like it's not like it is without its flaws, but that it has its benefits as well. And I feel like I'm more on
Yeah.
like the benefit side
So
of it.
I don't know. It's full-ish in the sense that you have to not just adapt, but you have to figure out what works for you within this adaptation.
Yeah, isn't that life though? Figuring out what works for you.
Okay, so let's move on to our second topic. The bad part of technology, technoference, in the sense that
It
like
interferes.
like people going on dates and having their phones with them.
Mm.
Even having the phone on the table, apparently I can't remember the exact statistic, but you're more distracted, you're more on edge, your stress
Your-
levels
your
are
phone.
automatically higher just seeing this little black thing on the table.
And I agree with that because if I go on a date, the first thing I'm looking at is where you keep your phone and like how engaged are you with me? I already know because of where you keep your phone. Is it in your hand? Is it on the table? Is it turned over or is it in your bag? Because for me, when I'm out with people in real life, I want to be present. So the first thing is my phone is in my bag unless I'm expecting a call or I know something is happening. I'm like, hey, like by the way, just expecting this person to call me. Just give me, as soon as that's over, you have my full attention. But when I'm out on dates, my phone is in my bag.
Yeah,
Like
I think that's huge. Like we have like let's say you sitting on the table to have breakfast with your spouse. Where your phones at? Are they
that
on the table?
actually is a pet peeve of mine. Is like if you can't be present in those small moments, like
What's
in
the
those
point?
yeah, why am I with you? Like so that's I guess I'm more on the older generation side with this than a younger one because I can't deal with phones on. I hate to see. I work in a restaurant. I hate to see couples, and I try to like not be too judgy because like maybe they at home all day together. They work from home, and now they just need some like space together, but apart like mentally. But I hate to see couples come to a restaurant and sit down and be on their phones and not talk. I'm like, why are you here then?
What's the point?
Me
You could come by yourself.
and don't be paying to sit down someplace if you're not talking to the person that you came with.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, my husband and I we have a no tech talk scheduled for 15 minutes every day. Like technology, not even like
in the
nowhere
vicinity.
near us,
Yeah.
nowhere near us, and we just talk. I think, and even if we take relationships out of it, well, let's say relationship with other people, relationship with yourself. Do you ever take 15 minutes to just sit down with your thoughts? I think that's a skill that we're losing. In addition to several other skills that we're losing because of
That's true.
the influx of technology.
So we had this. We kind of got into like a little spat about this yesterday because you were talking about.
I was gonna get a phone bag. I was gonna get a phone bag for everybody in the house.
I'm like, that's not necessary. And honestly, for somebody like me, it's not necessary because I already have those spaces already. So like, I don't need to drop my phone now. Like when I'm home, I'm telling her I at work 8 hours a day. I barely look at my phone because you're running around the floor. You're not looking at your phone. When I'm home,
You want to look at
I
your phone.
want to look at my phone. I want to relax. I want to sit down. I want to have breakfast. I want to do the Insta reels.
Have you ever thought about spending 15 minutes with nothing? And I'm not talking about only when you're going to bed. I mean, like actually part of your decompression from work being even 5 minutes just alone with your thoughts.
With nothing, no, but with music, yes. Because I love my commute time.
I'm serious, with nothing.
I don't need to have. Why do I have to have nothing? Why can't I have music or something?
What's wrong with nothing? Is nothing scary?
Nothing. I don't find nothing scary. I could sit down and stare into space for hours. I'm a daydreamer, but I don't. This is why I'm saying I don't need that. You do. I don't need that.
I don't think I need it either.
So
but I think it's important for everybody to be able to. I think that's the best way to stay connected with yourself. To have,
but again,
you might call it meditation, you might call it journaling, but just to remove yourself from technology.
You know what I find meditative? What is my what one time I actually don't respond to messages is when I'm on the tube because I have in my earphones. I'm listening to whatever vibe of music I'm on, and that is my me time. My commute is like 40 minutes to and from work, so that's 80 minutes a day. So for that hour and 20 minutes, that is my decompressing. I don't need to have
I'm
nothing.
not talking about decompressing. I'm talking about
That is
reconnecting with
my
yourself.
But that for me, that is it.
It can't be.
Why not?
You're
Just
not
because
thinking
it's-
about anything going on in your life. You're not thinking about
You don't know
anything
that.
you want.
I think about everything between this teacup to the moon. I could be thinking about anything. So that's what I'm saying. It's not a one size fits all, my love. Like,
No, okay. I think you're misinterpreting it. You're seeing this as like some sort of fun, relaxing activity. I'm saying an intentional.
that's not what I'm saying.
An
I
intentional
understand.
self-check.
I
Let's
understand.
call
I
it.
understand what you're saying. I'm saying it doesn't have to be quiet. I can self check while listening to music. Sometimes I listen to music and I didn't actually listen to the song because my brain has been across the world and back, and I'm like, oh, I like this song. I actually have to replay it.
Okay, do
those
you
are
think
my
you can do that
self-checks.
without music?
I don't want to do it for music.
Can you do it without
I
music?
could probably do it for music. I'm a reader. I could sit down and
What
read
we're
and not
talking
listen to
about right now
anything.
is technoference in a sense that it's very difficult for people to disconnect from technology.
Understood. And sometimes
And
in-
you're literally proving my point.
I am proving a point. But I'm saying, what is the harm in that? If I'm able to self-check and meditate and do all these things
Are you
with
truly
technology,
self-check? I
how do
don't
you know
think
that
you
I'm not
can.
self-checking?
I don't think you can truly do a proper self-check.
When in
without
life ever are
disconnecting.
people completely surrounded by silence and nothing? It never happens unless you live in a Buddhist temple somewhere. Even
And
if
that is what I'm saying. That is an issue in today's world.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
How? Where are you getting these
You
statistics
know how many
from?
people literally cannot disconnect themselves? You know how many people would have died if they went through what I went through a couple of days ago? I was traveling and my phone just completely went bum.
Right, so you're talking about extreme side. I'm telling you, I
No,
can live without my
I'm
phone. I
talking
can live
about
without
taking
those things.
5 minutes a day to sit in nothing.
And I'm
You could
asking
sit
you,
and talk to your Jesus, to your God, talk to yourself. You could take time to just
right, and I'm saying that looks different for different
right.
people.
Okay, hold on. So music is playing from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gateway to distraction. If a song comes on that you don't like, what then? You're gonna pick up the phone and change it. What I'm saying,
you.
Kayla, what I'm talking about is the inability to disconnect. And you're literally proving the point every time you say, well, I don't even want to, because you have trained yourself to be able to do this only with technology.
I don't have
Music
to
is technology.
I prefer to do it with technology because I prefer to have it that way because I've trained myself that way. I'm not saying I cannot do it with filter. I just don't see the point in doing it with filter. Because what the world in the real world, you're not surrounded by silence. I could take my earphones out and listen to the noise in the tube if you prefer. It's the same thing. The noise in the tube is distracting. The person next to me talking to their friend on the phone is distracting. Life is not surrounded by silence. Something is always
that is
happening.
intentional. Noise is created by this world to keep us disconnected from ourselves. I truly
And I'm
believe
telling you that
that
noise does not disconnect me from myself.
Reading is also a great thing that technology has taken from people. How many people can admit to not reading, not being able to read, not being able to focus?
We know that those people exist. I'm telling you, I am a reader. So even if I'm not, so even in those quiet moments when I'm like reading, I'm still actively doing something according to you. I'm not in silence because you're reading. Yes,
I agree.
Quiet.
I'm saying reading is not the same thing as what I'm suggesting to do.
Right.
That is a different activity.
You asked me, this is my answer to your question. You asked me if I'm reliant on technology. And the answer is no. Because I can be without technology for hours. Give me a book and we good.
I mean, okay, so you can be alone with a book, but what about alone with yourself?
I don't find that necessary. I will play music.
Exactly. So you've not changed your answer to my question.
I have, because you asked me if I could be without technology. I said yes.
No, I asked, are you admitting you are reliant on technology?
And I said no, because I'm not. I can be without technology. I just choose not to be.
Well, we're talking about the fact that technology has interfered very deeply in our level of connection. And you're saying yes, it has.
And I'm saying it doesn't have to.
It's
changed it and made it different. And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. And we can agree to disagree on that
Okay.
point. You might be fine, but there are several people in this world that need that space. You can't speak for yourself.
And they will have to find that themselves.
Okay, and there are people who don't even think about doing an activity like that.
And again, they will have to figure that out on themselves. You're not here to save everybody.
But I'm not trying to. I'm trying to suggest an activity.
All right.
And this is another thing. How many people can't read? how many people have lost the ability to focus long
And I
enough
don't
to
believe in
read.
that. I feel everybody can read because we read text, we read
No,
everything. We just
right.
we
You have to train that skill.
right, but it's a choice. You see how mine is a choice to not be quiet on the tube and instead listen to music. That's a choice. I feel people not reading is a choice at the end, and they've trained themselves.
I want to go further than just saying it's a choice. I think when we come against an obstacle or a challenge, it's very hard to push past it because we have this easy alternative to, say, reading. For example, you can just scroll on your phone. That's much easier than trying to train yourself to read, because that's what you have to do. I stopped reading for years, several years, maybe even like maybe 7 to 10 years. I was not reading anymore
Why?
because I found myself busy. I found myself distracted. I claim I couldn't find books to read. I was only reading like these self-help books, and that wasn't even that frequent. So for me, when I first started reading for fun again last year, I was very intentional about it. The first book I picked up, well, actually no, that's year before now. The first books I picked up, the first 5 pages, I was like, I'm struggling. I hear rereading paragraphs because I find myself skimming. I found myself getting drowsy. I really do feel like technology has ruined a lot for who we are as humans. We've come into our own worlds. Like, even though I want to preserve my feed, like that's like a small subset because it's not like harming anybody. But that's another subset of like disconnection and like harboring my individual, I don't know, pocket of joy, where we would more often than not like go out with people and discuss things and get different views. I think it's very hard to, even people, grammar. That just came to my mind, how much grammar has been affected by technology.
I agree with that one for sure.
People
Bad
are
grammar.
dumb, including myself. Sometimes I am literally struggling to spell a word, and I'm like, this is nuts. Or
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
nuts.
sometimes we type things in and we're like waiting for autocorrect because we know that we can't spell this word.
I'm typo queen, but typo and grammar is different. I just want to say, a typo is just laziness. I'm not gonna
Is
correct
it?
it. Yeah, because I know I know people are like smart enough to understand what I'm saying. If it's a really bad typo, I will correct it myself. But I don't correct typos. I'm typo queen. But maybe it's because I'm a reader. My grammar is excellent. I'm not gonna lie. Tell me not.
Anyways, I can tell you more than 5 years ago, when I was teaching at a primary school with a nursery attached, there was a parent who said he will not get his daughter the 2B pencil because she has a tablet. You don't think that
That's
in
crazy.
next that we're heading for like a age where parents are going to be less likely to, where children may not write because they have a parent like that, or they may not read because all they do is watch videos or listen? Don't you think it's possible that we might have a whole, like, we might go from being the most literate to the most illiterate?
Or the most dependent on technology. Of course, I think so, especially with the AI boom. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that everything doesn't have to be in such extremes with everything. It's like, yes, it's changed the way we communicate. Some good, some bad, of course. It changes the way grammar, some good, some bad. Because, okay, even if you think it autocorrects, if you really can't spell a word, it helps you. It was supposed to be there for a beneficial purpose. Of course, now we've used it, it's become negative, which is it's the thing with
It
most
should have
things.
been making us
There's
smarter. It's
nothing
making us
in
dumber.
life is like black and white completely. There's no all good and all bad. There's a little bit of both mixed in there.
I
So
don't
it's
know. I feel like that is a very new age way of thinking, that we think too much about this gray area. We create the gray areas because we don't want to acknowledge the stark black and white areas. On to Brood and Blunt. Would you rather live under the sea or in space?
you know where I got that question from?
I would like to live on the moon.
Live on the moon. Isn't that visit? Visit.
Did I
Yeah.
sing visit or did I sing?
I said live on. You said
Oh.
visit. You're correct.
Haha.
Anyways, on the
I
moon
would go in
or
space.
I'm an under the sea girl.
Are you mad?
Under the sea. Under
Are
the
you
sea.
mad? You know we've only
Under
discovered
the
10% of the creatures down there. Are you
Whales.
nuts?
Whales, guys. All I have
The
to say.
whales won't save you from the creepy
My
stuff.
Nat Geo is full of whales. I know their migrations. I know their.
Oh, so you're gonna swim in the whales?
I'm a swim with the whales. That's it. That's
And
me
when
right
he try
there.
to hug you and accidentally kill your ass.
I will die happy. Whales.
I am not. I
Un-
love the
Under
ocean.
the sea for me. I'm good.
I love the ocean, but if you think it's some aerial fantasy, you are very wrong.
I-
What about sharks, bro? Sharks eat whales. What do you want?
Depends on which whales you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna pick whales that have no natural predators? Do those even exist?
Yes. The blue whale?
Doesn't have any predators.
Not really.
So as a calf, you will not possibly die
As
by
a calf
shark
is different. Dog.
or by what's he?
Killer whales? Like
Yeah.
Orcas?
They're
Orcas.
literally killer whales,
Orcas
bro.
are dicks. Orcas are dicks
Killer
of the sea.
whales.
But as a fully grown
How you
humpback,
gonna get fully grown? You
because
gotta go see the calves.
my mother is going to protect me. That's what she's
And
there
we're not
for.
even talking about you becoming a whale. We're talking about you being a human living under the sea or in space.
But obviously, if a human living on the sea, we can't breathe there. So we're gonna have some sort of domain because you can't breathe in space either. So some structure is gonna be created. I will be away from the sharks and maybe not the whales. Maybe I'll just have a little sneak out to the whatever infrastructure is created there. You know,
I'd rather do space. I
And
think it's very
space is
exciting to live
unknown. Maybe
on
you
a-
have sharks in space. You don't know what's in space.
sharks in space. That
It might not
seems-
be sharks in the way we understand sharks. You
Nah.
don't know what's in space. You know what's in space. I know what's under the sea though.
Aliens. I feel like there's more intellectual life out there.
And under the sea is not intellectual life.
It's
Whales are some of the
scary.
smartest
It's
animals.
not that they're not smart.
So are
I'm
sharks.
not,
Animals
I'm
are
not,
so intelligent
not contesting their intellect. What I'm contesting is the scary stuff under the sea.
because you know about it. You don't
We know more
you
about space than
don't
we do
know-
about the sea. We have better maps of the moon, Venus, and Mars than we do of our own planet.
That's great. I want to live in the sea.
That's
I
all
find
I'm
that's
telling you.
beautiful, and that's where I want
Is
to
it?
be. That's where I want to
Next.
be.
Next. If you could go back to any era and live comfortably, what era would it be and why?
Egypt. I'm talking ancient Egypt.
We're talking like Egypt before the Jews or like
Before I talk in temples and pharaohs. I talk like I
there was
went
a
back.
Pharaoh in the time of the
Yeah,
Jews.
yeah. I'm before the Bible, Miss. Yes, you're on your Bible journey. Before all that.
Why?
Before. Because it was ancient Egypt was it. Ancient Egypt was the
What
place
about it
to
was
be.
it?
Everything. Their society was, like women could like marry and divorce. Like their society was free. Both men and women were working. Everybody had their job. Everybody had their role. They had games. They built temple. Like they were doing great. Like
I would like to go to the Victorian era and be the wife of a lord and not work and not I'll just make the babies and relax.
That's
all
not
day.
for me. That's not for me.
And gossip and drink tea.
Take me to Egypt. Thank you. Ancient Egypt.
Nah, I like the Victorian era. I love the carelessness with which people lived. I want to put that
Built
on
on
my
the
face.
backs of your
to look pretty,
ancestors.
like
Built on the backs
we're
of your
talking about
ancestors.
you can go and live comfortably. So I am assuming that there's no slavery because to be black and to be like the wife of a lord and stuff, it means that there's no race.
That didn't
thing going on.
exist. But all right.
Hey.
It didn't exist. At least
Hey.
mine exists. Mine actually existed in history. Just saying.
Girl.
Just saying.
Last but not least, who would survive on a deserted island the longest? You see?
I'm not trying to survive. This is the whole zombie apocalypse thing again. Take me out.
And technology, no technology.
Take me out in the first wave. I'm done. I'm calling it quits. I don't want to fight for food. I don't want to forage. No. Take me out. I'm done.
So even if you had enough money, you would not build a compound.
What is money going to get me if I have no food?
What? Why you don't have food? It's a deserted island. It didn't say a desert. It didn't say you're in a desert.
Deserted? Oh, deserted just means no people.
Yes.
So there are like food and plants.
Yes. They're animals and plants.
Still no. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh my gosh.
I'm okay. I'm good. I'll
That
die
was
in
the
the sea.
obvious answer. No technology. She would not survive. You can't.
It's
Google.
not about technology. I just don't want to fight for food.
Why are you fighting? Who are you
Because
fighting?
this is just the island, whatever the island I
there are
have,
no people.
and it's just me and this, and it's what is it, coconuts and bananas for the rest of my life.
Until you decide to forge a bow and arrow and kill a pig. Like
You see, I'm not foraging. I'm not building fires. I'm not doing all that. I'm not building a hut.
Oh
I'm not
my
building a
gosh.
fortress. Money will
what about
not get me.
domesticating like a what do you call it? Maybe like an ancestor of a dog or something like that.
Domesticating a wolf.
A wild dog.
Oh, well, not doing it.
You're no fun.
Even if I had money, who can build it for me? I build it myself. I don't know to build.
You would learn. Oh
How?
my gosh. Have you never watched Lost?
No, because first episode done, bored. I'm done with it.
Oh my
Not doing
gosh.
it. I was not made to struggle.
Anyways,
Not me.
we want to hear y'all take. Has technology been a friend or foe in your life, in your relationships? Share your story, darlings.
Pick a side. Let's see.
I am not saying to pick a side. I'm saying share
You
your
are
story.
saying to pick a side.
Oh my gosh.
All right, fine. Let's just hear your thoughts.
Anyways,
We agree to disagree on this.
there are many layers and complexities to this technology conversation. So let's shift to another area where connections get a bit tricky. So friendship dilemmas, friendship questions. Do you think people should pay for themselves on their birthdays?
Oh, you mean